to...
And he just sat there, emitting clouds of his most sexual gases, until everyone in the room got completely insane. Everybody was sexy toilet. It's me,
Now then...
Professor. And today, and a colleague, fucking colleague, it's fucking not popular, isn't it? He's here.
As you come in...
It's a sexy, spooky Halloween episode.
Ooh, Shiza. What does that entail?
But all kinds of terrifying things to say to you.
Oh, I'm wearing the nappy like.
Oh yeah.
Otherwise,
the spare one.
Well, I've gone double this time because I usually shit. Somehow I managed to shit through plastic, but
it's a corrosive thing that you eat, isn't it? It's strontium. What strontium you eat. So it is like quite radioactive.
I do like all kind of like industrial and toxic waste from Pakistan.
Yeah.
It's really nice. Really heavy metals in lead.
We got all that cesium from hospital MRI machines. Well, that was a feast on it.
I just put it on the toast. It's fucking nice.
Yeah.
Mercury shots as well.
It's just
gives you a really bad hangover, like put in hospital for 6 weeks.
Putting your arm in a desk, biting your teeth, and injecting like scalding hot liquid borax. My arm fell off. It hit my veins and ligaments.
This is like people go on about like getting stoned, but then stone is as hard as metal.
No, it isn't. In many ways, so, it doesn't conduct electricity either.
No, so people go, "Oh, you want to get stoned?" Yeah, mate, no. I want to get metal.
I want to get fucking good, man.
I want to be steel beamed, mate. Fucking yes. I want to be a supporting structure.
I want to be full on anvil, mate.
That sounds rude.
Were necessary. We're doing metal work on, yeah? How did they make the first anvil?
Is that a question to me?
It's a question to the audience, I think.
Okay.
If you could answer to how anvils made, and how did they make them before there were any anvils? Like, put on the back of a postcard and send it to any Merkel, #1 Volksstrasse, like Berlin, Germany, which is our address.
That is our address. That she does the front office. That's why you have to send it to.
Well, she was at the office, wasn't she?
Office woman.
Yeah.
Ange downstairs.
Aye.
I mean,
you weren't about hiring her, but she came in that low-cut dress one day. We were like, wow, she still got it. That bowl haircut, the low-cut dress.
But that's the thing. But that's the thing when it's part of like German sexual identity. They're efficient. It's efficient haircut. You see that and you go, they made gains through efficiency there. Now my dick's hard.
It's true.
It's
with
why
with a French woman you'd be faffing about for ages.
It's why when
various nooks and crannies.
When you go to a German sex club, they have the buffet first, then they go straight onto the fucking and finish by 11. The back home. Everyone else is still farting about.
Everyone else is still farting about taking poppers while the Germans are reading Volkswagen brochures on the way home.
They have come and conquered.
Yep.
And then
it's like the Germans. It's why the Germans are well noted as the best love in Europe. Their efficiency.
I don't know.
And there's that famous scene in Die Hard. You get to see some efficient sex between Jeremy Irons and that woman who's not Jeremy Irons.
That's not really the same because that's more the Hollywood version because it doesn't show the bureaucracy.
No, it doesn't show most of the form filling and mutual credit checks that they usually do.
Well, in German sexuality, they want to get it done, but they want to get it done proper. So they fill out the right
Yeah,
forms.
it's
They
all a
get
form of arbeit for them.
they get the right witnesses. They get the
Mm.
right stamps, and then they're finished, and they go home.
Exactly.
Rather than this, whatever other people do, it's confusing.
They get a letter in the post about 3 weeks later saying you're pregnant or you're not pregnant. And that's sex for them.
That's a lot easier than, oh no, the Johnny broke. Oh no,
Oh, yeah.
oh
Oh
no,
no, I
that
spilled
was
me
a
gravy early. Yeah.
that was a dog. Oh no,
Oh no, I missed. It's gone in your eye, love.
oh no, I'm in the back of a truck and I don't know where I am.
Oh man, that's happened to me so many times when I thought I was about to have some sex.
Well, that's the thing. Like, this is the thing that women don't get. Like, if
Yeah.
they get tricked, yeah, there's a law about it. But when a man gets tricked and he's stuck in the back of a truck for 6 days, not a fucking, not a wink, not a blink.
No. There's no press furore about it. No one, you just dust yourself off and get your bike home.
If you've got your bike with you, that is. Otherwise, you've got a long walk from Dover.
I keep my bike disassembled in various pockets of my coat.
That's a good idea.
Isn't it?
Where'd you keep the wheels?
I disassemble them into hubs and spokes and keep them in back pockets.
You must
In,
have
in a tube. Just that.
you must have a very large round back pocket.
No, like they're segments of wheels, so it's kind of like a really large pizza slice. How you ordinarily keep like slices of 22-inch pizzas in your pocket. It's a bit like that.
Well, I've kind of forgone the usual carrying system, and I've gone with like it's like a plastic sleeve, so you can see the pizza at the same time, and it's got
I understand,
like a lanyard to keep it on, so you can
just
walk
keep
around.
your bicycle parts. Yeah.
Well, no, more for the pizza. I don't carry bicycle parts.
Your
That's
pizza
you,
lanyard,
you tit. I ride bikes. I don't carry them.
Yeah, and you can't let the bicycle know that it's getting. It's like a dog. You have to show that you're the alpha dog to a dog. When you're riding a bike, you can never let the bike ride you for fun, not even once, because when you try and get on it again, it won't listen. It'll think it's the boss. Then you'll find it when you get home sitting in your armchair.
Because this is the thing, right?
The Tour de France on telly.
Like, nobody ever goes, oh, I saw someone being ridden by a bike the other day.
No.
Never. You never hear about it. And why? Because it'd be pure fucking madness.
Also, it happens at night when people can't see.
We are the bikes. We are the bikes. We are coming for you. That's not how they sing.
It isn't. They're famous for their baritone voices.
They have baritone voices with a with a high overtone of bell.
Yeah.
Ring ring.
It's like, imagine Barry White was inside of one of them giant church bells. That's how a bicycle sounds. Like when. But like it's a big effort to try have try and hear the voice of the bicycles.
I think it's usually easier to converse with a bicycle if it's dead, because ghost bikes, they're a bit more. They've got a bit more about them. They're not constrained by being a bike. They're now
they're free
inanimate.
From the real.
They're an inanimate, metaphysical, supernatural bike.
The soul of a bike, the Platonic form of pure bikeness. But like, it's because when they die, they're freed from the constraints of bicycle culture, which is famously, insular. Famously, they're not. Bicycles don't like to talk to outsiders. They only talk to other bikes, unicycles. If it's vital.
Well, that's the thing as well. Like when they're alive, they kind of put on the low position. They're underneath everyone, literally.
Yeah.
They're literally underneath them. Whereas when they're dead, they don't need anyone there. They just ride around all day.
It's true.
Back and forth, back and forth.
Free from the constraints of balance, like worshipping their penny farthing ancestors.
I mean,
leaving bicycle chains on your front door step.
When I was watching this documentary, what was it called? Haunted Mansion. Disney's Haunted Mansion. No, Disney's Haunted Mansion. This documentary.
Oh yeah.
Had this black fella in it, and there was a bike in that.
Murphy. Is Edward Murphy in that film?
Oh, Edward Murphy.
Murphy,
yeah, he's a doctor. I've seen him. He's been a doctor before. He was probably a doctor then. That makes sense.
He's a doctor and a nutty professor. He invented Eddie Murphy in that film. The fat man who invents Eddie Murphy.
And some green shit.
That's Flubber, where he invents cocaine.
Anyway, he was in.
This powder just makes everyone excited.
He was in this house.
That's incredible.
I call it cocaine. Oh dear. Looks like we've got a bit of a break in the communication with our Adam. One moment, dear listeners. Adam. Please come back to me, Adam. Oh, God. I'm terrible at this. No one knows what I'm going to say. I don't know what I'm going to say. I'm just talking nonsense. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. We're having an intermission. Intermission because the callers broke. Intermission. Answer the phone, Adam. Answer the phone, you fucking knobhead. It's not really good when you're supposed to be online and then who you're online with just disappears. It's like spooky. Ow! That hurt my ears.
You still recording?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Hello, everyone. I'm back.
I had to do an intermission, you dick.
Ghost bikes, man. Fuck my internet connection.
Well, this is the thing. As soon as I was talking about ghosts and talking about them, and then you get kidnapped.
Exactly. I was taken away to a magical world where all men were partially bike. You know, bike centaurs.
And then you get chased. They chase. Well, one thing I know about ghost bikes is they chase people who've never ridden a bike. Have you ever noticed there's certain people who've never ridden a bike? I don't know.
I find that most people under the age of 5 are people who've never ridden a bike.
Yeah, but so there's a very small minority of people, and if you've ever seen The Sixth Sense, it's got a similar theme running through it. Like you always see that they're absolutely petrified. Why is that? Because they can see the ghost bikes.
Never. That's a good point.
And they chase them, ringing the bell. You see them running down the street screaming.
Yeah.
All the time. Just, They just dart past you and you're just like, he's being chased by ghost bikes again.
Yeah. I think the most terrifying ghost bikes are those weird deformed ghost bikes you see. Like those double bikes, you know, tandems.
Oh, tandems.
They don't exist in real life, but amongst ghost bikes. I guess it's just when two bike souls choose to combine to create new bike souls to go into the bodies of new bikes.
It could be a bit like Ghostbusters, where nothing looks like it was when it was alive.
Exactly. Like what was Slimer when he was alive?
He was supposed to be a big fat man, but
like
I don't know any man that looks like a green shit.
No, like he does look like the type of shit you do after eating lots and lots of like
food coloring.
Yeah, when you just eat all the icing off a St. Patrick's Day cake that's been coloured green
and nothing else.
Nothing else for about 2 weeks. That's how you do a shit that looks like Slimer. Like you can follow me on Instagram for more pictures of weird looking shits that I've done. Like
it's invite only and it's £10.
£10. I tried to move it to OnlyFans, but they said to me that they have some moral standards. But luckily, Instagram don't.
I don't even know what fucking standards could they have.
No fat chicks. That's rule number one.
Well, they fucking went out the window.
No brain sex.
Ugh. Saying that, it's the ones that get me are the kind of the famous blokes.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's absolutely gross. Because they're not attractive at all.
That's how Barry Chuckle makes his money nowadays. On OnlyFans.
Well, since his brother died.
Since Trevor McDonald Chuckle died, it's Barry Chuckle on OnlyFans alone. Just grabbing it, weekly pulling his pud, saying "to me, to you."
To me,
it's tragic in many ways. It wasn't so hot.
He's got a ring piece like a wizard sleeve.
Yep, looks like a haunted cave.
I was going to say, to me, to the To Me to You Extreme series. Where he was
Matt's hardcore and Barry Chuckle as you've never seen them before.
Yeah. The extreme gaping and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's not really something that anyone wants to watch or pay for or exist.
In many ways, like unless they actually, and they do this, just break into people's houses and force them to watch it, they'd have very little audience. But they do have. I think it's that Securicorp company. The ones that protect bank money. You'll recognise them from their jumpers. They always wear blue jumpers. They wear blue jumpers and a helmet, and they carry a suitcase full of bank money into their van.
Oh, I've seen them before. I thought they were just taking in something really nice.
Oh yeah.
Like really nice dinner that no one's allowed to touch.
It's like a lovely cream cake for the manager of the bank.
Yeah, because them greedy fucking tellers on the front. I've seen them slobbering at the French horns.
You're in the back of it. Yeah.
That's why they have the glass windows in case someone comes in with pastries.
It's true, yeah. So I can see.
Well, no, it's to stop them attacking you.
Oh yeah.
Because everyone knows money equals like going mad.
It's true.
On some level, I mean, if you're not allowed to own all the money you're touching, you're gonna go a little mad.
It's true. Like if you. Even if you pocket like £5, you're an investment banker, and your job is to sit on all the money, and scare away anyone who wants to come near it with a broom. That's why investment bankers get the big bucks.
And all those money crows.
Yeah,
they like shiny money.
Mergers and acquisitions people, their job is to keep the money in their pockets and walk around, but not spend it on anything. It's a hard job.
Fucking is.
Just £2.50. If they're £2.50 at the end of the day, the bank shuts down. And they have to have everyone come in and turn out their pockets. That's what caused the 2008 crash. All of Northern Rock were there, queuing up outside the bank, turning out their pockets.
Where's the money?
Yeah.
Where's the money?
He says we're 87 pence short this week, and I know some of you have been eating Freddos. I've seen the wrappers.
Fucking. This is the thing they don't teach them in schools.
No, it's a delicate system. Like the fact our wealth is built on a lot of assumptions, and one of them is that bankers don't just spend all your money on Freddos as soon as they get it.
I was going to say, like, I've seen Especially if the caramel Freddos are available. Fucking hell.
Or, yeah, a Taz.
I mean, when they were Taz bars, Jesus Christ.
Oh no, you couldn't stop them.
Well, this is where the equity bubble came from. It was like how
Yeah.
much money they laid down on Taz bars.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was only with the rise of the price of well, they got rid of the Freddo and they got rid of the Taz and replaced it with the Freddo caramel.
Yeah.
But then they rose the price. You would notice when that rise in price was at the exact same time as the crash.
It's true. And that's because at the height of the financial crash, I'm reading this off Wikipedia right now, it was 13.5% of UK GDP was purely spent on Taz bars and Freddos. Like now it's now it's 6%, so that's sustainable, you know?
I mean, how are they going to stay? How are they going to stay up all night? I mean, how do other people stay up all night? Sugar.
Yeah. You eat as many like high sugar chocolate bars as you can, and you watch cartoons. That's how you stay up all night.
I mean, you see them as well. Like they even just get powdered sugar, and they're just like shoving it up their mouth and nose.
Yeah, it's true.
More
like,
sugar.
In the back of like clubs and things like that, or sometimes in fancy restaurants. They're just there with little packets of icing sugar that they keep on themselves.
Gives them a bit of a boost.
It does, and lets them just sit and look at the money all day. So that's what wankers do.
It keeps them busy when they're watching Peppa Pig.
Yeah.
And
Peppa Pig or Transformers Ultimate. That's very popular amongst investment bankers.
They can't really watch Jeremy Kyle anymore. I hear Trisha's coming back for them though.
Oh, Trisha.
Which is really good for the bankers. They do need that daytime TV. Otherwise they will not be able to guard the money and we will be overtaken by money crows and small voles.
Money crows, voles and Chinese.
They
like Trisha, I'm glad she's coming back. She spent all that time playing Storm in the X-Men movies.
She wasn't very good.
No, she wasn't very good.
She was also didn't look anything like herself.
No, she didn't. She looked a lot like the actress Halle Berry, which is, a different person.
Completely different person, but then it couldn't have been Halle Berry because it's Trisha.
Yeah. And Halle Berry was doing the 17 Catwoman sequels that she did. Like, she couldn't have been in 2 movies.
She couldn't have been 2 movies at the same time. That makes no sense.
No, how would they broadcast them? Like, if she was in 2 movies at the same time, and you sat down and say I sat down to watch Catwoman 14, the best one, the one where she fights Erin Brockovich, and you sat down to watch X-Men 3, the one that's set in a submarine. Like, you and I, like, how would Halle Berry be in both movies at the same time? How would that work?
This doesn't even work in the abstract.
No, exactly.
It doesn't work.
If it can't work theoretically, how can it work in real life?
Maths.
Exactly.
This is why people need maths.
Yep. This is why we both took our Key Stage 3 math skills test. That's why we're better than you.
Fucking damn right. This is why we have credentials, and this is why you work somewhere I don't know. That's the thing. You work in a place I don't know because I'm not exposed to it from my high education.
We both have to keep our jobs secret from each other because they're so important and well paid.
I wouldn't say paid. Maybe not well paid. Or paid.
I pay money to work where I work. But they charge me to come in.
Same here, really.
Yeah.
But
in fact, work is probably.
It's the market we're in, though.
Yeah.
I mean, employers shouldn't be expected to pay the workers nowadays. It's ridiculous. What do you think it is?
No, it's Marxism. That's what it is. Getting paid for work you do. Marxism.
Fucking bollocks.
Jeremy
pissing Corbyn getting paid a wage.
You wanna sit down in your breaks next, don't you?
You wanna go sleep at night.
You wanna not have hot iron poured on you.
You don't want to be put in a cage while being told that fucking Eurasia's gonna explode.
You you don't want to live out the end of Terminator 2 every day you're at work, then you shouldn't have a job, should you? Because that was what my last job was, just being lowered over and over again into molten metal, and I loved it. Made a lot of friends there. Just
Exactly.
being lowered every day into molten metal, and I had to give the thumbs up every time. I had to give the thumbs up as my hand was just lowering into the molten metal to a 13-year-old boy, and they bring a new 13-year-old boy in every week. Because that was my job. Just saying heartfelt goodbyes as a robot in a steel factory to 13-year-old boys.
I mean, I never got that far. I was on the other end. I was in the opening sequence.
Ah, right, yeah.
So I never really got to see I mean, I knew it was going on because obviously every single day you're gonna hear somebody say something about it.
Yeah.
But where we were, it was constantly running while watching a robot crush a skull.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Couple of us would die each shift, and then we'd send you back ready for the end of the shift.
Yeah. I mean, I did work my way up into that position. It wasn't me starting out as being melted at the end. I mean, for a while, I was driving a truck in the Los Angeles flood defense system, and having a robot on a motorcycle fire a shotgun at me. I mean, that was good graft. I like that. It's either up or out in jobs like that.
I got out. I mean, I got up to lying to the policeman as the ginger boy, but while we stand next to an afterburner cabinet.
Yeah.
I liked the afterburner cabinet. It was one of the reasons I got transferred over there. It was pretty much the only fucking reason. Who doesn't want to play afterburner in a kind of gyroscope? It's mint.
It's true. But I always thought G-Lock was the better game. No. There were two dueling games at the time. It was Afterburner and G-Lock. And G-Lock was slightly better.
Yeah, but Afterburner had the gyroscope.
It did have the giant cabinet, and it cost 50 pence to play, and that was more expensive than the other arcade machines.
I couldn't pay. I didn't play any of them. I've never fucking afforded them.
I got to go to a Haven holiday park once every year, and my dad would give me £5 pocket money a day, for it to be special with me, and I spent it all in the fucking arcade.
Yes.
I had so much tickets, man.
Well, that's one reason I don't gamble. Because I went to Butlins and I won 2 bags, bin bags full of soft toys.
Oh, wow. But of course, those soft toys were the diseased ones, weren't they? Remember when BSE was spreading through soft toys? And
funnily enough, they were all small cows.
Ah, yeah. Well, that's how you tell.
Little tiny cows, aliens with spliffs. I think it was mainly cows and aliens.
Yeah. Well, remember that it was the style at the time because everyone wouldn't stop talking about the chupacabra and cattle mutilation. Everyone thought, oh, aliens are doing that. They're just going around perfectly circularly cutting the arseholes out of cows. I assume to make some kind of fleshlight.
That's fucking disgusting.
It's a big thing.
We're not in Mexico, though.
With me, I was going around with my heat-sensitive T-shirt and my Elise jeans. No, my Eclipse jeans, sorry. Elise is an entirely different company. And my plastic tube that made that sound when you swung it around your head.
Oh, God, that
Meanwhile, you just had that job. Meanwhile, you just had that job as the guy who got shot by Ed 209 in Robocop.
He wouldn't listen.
No.
I put this is, you know what really got me more than anything.
Yeah.
Like the gun they gave me, it was a fucking Desert Eagle, fucking 50 AE.
No, it was there was no expense spared at Omni Consumer Products, was there?
I just thought it was a little overkill, but then being killed was a bit overkill.
It's true. Like, you had 30 seconds to comply, but you did comply, didn't you?
I did comply. In fact, I complied after complying.
Yeah. You could comply as hard as you want, but you still got machine gun and fell out of a window. And that was your life, 9 to 5, every day, for 6 years.
Well, I tell you what, I fucking slapped that fucking Ed at the end of it. I was like, listen here, mate. I've complied 376 times.
Yeah.
And you don't fucking listen.
No, he was a shite to work with. It's because his English was so poor.
I got right up in his grill, his literal grill.
Yeah.
I just gave him a little slap. He started weeping.
No, it cries like a baby. Like you should see it when it tries to climb some stairs.
He's fucking
He's from Albania originally. His English is quite poor. But, he just kind of bluffs his way through it.
He's a fucking bully.
He understands, nodding his head along.
Can't stand bullies. They do me head in.
It's true, like
fucking arsehole. I mean, he was shooting oh god, what's his name now? I can't think what it is. Murphy, that's his name.
Oh, Murphy.
Yeah, he was shooting at Murphy.
No, Murphy was a class guy.
He was shooting at him in the car park.
Yeah,
all the rest of the plod was shooting at him as well.
And Murphy even brought in that special gun to show him as a treat. That giant fucking anti-tank rifle he had. It didn't impress Ed 209 though, did it?
Oh no, he kind of just fell over.
Aye, rubbish.
But that, to be fair,
it was the worst Christmas party I've ever been to.
To be fair, we had that argument earlier in the day.
Yeah.
I mean, I was still hanging around, but
yeah. Well, they'd need you tomorrow to be shot and fall out the window.
Well, no, I was moving on to being Clarice Boddicker at the end.
I see. Yeah.
The death scene. Because, well, it's the thing. Like, I went to the boss because obviously I was in fucking trouble for giving that fucking Ed a slap, and he's like, "Right, you're on your fucking ear." And I said, "I've been here long enough. You know what I've fucking gone through. Put me on the Boddicker death scene." And he said, "Do you want to be the guy in the crane?" I said, "No, I want to be Boddicker." But they said, "George is Boddicker." I said, "Fuck George. He does it all the time. He's done it for ages. Give a day off. He can go deal with Ed."
Yeah, he was always on about he had to go off to his second job on that 70s show anyway.
Exactly.
I only tempt there is some of the walls that Boddicker's thrown in, some of the glass windows that Boddicker's thrown through in some of the earlier seasons, but it only lasted a couple of weeks. Like to physically take on the shape of like a glass window and then have Clarence Boddicker from it was more than minimum wage was worth, really.
Well, you could be one of those that go with the kind of the fucking dog's body one, which is the conversation between Boddicker and the cartel men.
Oh yeah,
that makes no fucking sense.
Yeah.
He puts the fingers in the wine. Why?
Yeah. Like, he starts it off with "bitches leave," which no, that's when he's talking to Dick Jones's underling.
Yeah, that's when that's when that classic scene.
Yeah. Which the great like there are great lines in cinema. There's like Rosebud, and frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn, and you've not seen the things I've seen. Attack ships on fire off the shoulder of Orion. Sea flares on by the Tannhauser Gate, something like that.
It's a Bill's house.
It's a Bill's house. I don't have your wife's pussy, Bill. It's a Bill's house. We've been sharing it out. Yeah.
Ooh. Dude. No,
I don't have your daughter, Frank. She's at Bill's. Yeah.
She's tied up at Bill's house.
Depressing film. It's a Wonderful Life, isn't it?
It's not a very good Christmas film.
No. It's mainly about trafficking.
It's just about a man having a mental breakdown.
Yeah.
While shouting at people.
The bank doesn't have any money.
I was going to say, he started, at the end, he's got his daughter there, and he's gripping that daughter like it's going to fall apart.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, fuck it, you're not going nowhere.
He gets shown by a Frank Capra angel, the specific type of Frank, because, That's all. What all of Frank Capra's films are about is some kind of supernatural being showing you what the world would be like if a rich person had more power.
I do like those types of films. Well, no, actually no. I want to see a superhero film with a poor non-superhero. You know what I mean?
I understand, yeah.
So like Iron Man, but on a budget.
Yeah, Iron Man, but he has to look for work for 35 hours a week, otherwise he gets sanctioned.
That's what we're on about. Batman, but he has to go on a 2-week training course.
Yeah, and it's really basic stuff for call center jobs, just basic fucking telephone manner. It doesn't even help you get a job.
And CV filling.
It's basically just grifters getting money off the government by running these so-called training courses.
I was going to say,
it doesn't help you out, it doesn't help them out. It's just a waste of time, but the government likes it, and that's how Batman, Batman lives his life now.
I'd love watch though. Batman go
because he wasn't born on Earth.
No.
He doesn't have any fucking papers. Fucking ICE are after him in America.
Fucking Batman goes to the food bank. Batman can't replace his cape. He has to get a crisis loan.
Oh, yeah. There's a great episode of.
I mean, that is fictional now, but
yeah. No, they don't do crisis loans anymore.
No, he has to get his. You just nix it.
Yeah.
Just some curtains.
When He-Man's washing machine breaks down and you don't have enough money for a new one, it's a Saturday morning cartoon. And he says, "What I'll do, is I'll take all the parts out of the washing machine, but I'll fill it with bricks, so it still seems pretty heavy. I'll sell it second hand, get like 50 quid from it from a car boot, and then I'll sell all the parts of it individually, on Craigslist. And eventually he gets enough money for a new washing machine. Like Skeletor tries to stop him by shopping him into the benefits line, but he hasn't been committing benefits fraud. It doesn't count as work if you're just selling the washing machine.
No, it doesn't. Fucking scab Skeletor.
He's always dobbing He-Man in. Like when He-Man gets that cash in hand work for cleaning the gutters for the family next door.
Yeah.
And Skeletor sees him. And Skeletor calls up the benefit line and says, "I can see He-Man cleaning gutters while he claims to have a bad back." But then, of course, like the fellas from the council come round, and He-Man's put his neck brace back on, and they're all like, and the neighbour covers for him, of course. He's like, "Oh no, he didn't clean my gutters. I did it myself, pal."
To be fair though, he hasn't got a bad back.
No, he doesn't. He has a bit of the vibration white finger from working in the shipyards, but he doesn't have a bad back. Says he's in chronic back pain.
I was going to say,
you see him down the pub most Friday night.
The fucking size of that cunt.
Aye.
I was going to say, no wonder he's got a bad back. Fucking swinging swords around, daft tit.
He's making the most out of it, like he is. But I can't blame him. He's a hard-working fella. Like, whenever you want, maybe like some scrap metal taken out of your backyard, He-Man's the man to call.
Well, he's a big lad, and he's got that fucking fucking tiger with him as well. I've seen him with like fucking fridges and shit on the back of it, some bike frames.
Well,
doing a bit of scrapping.
Out that you don't want to take that on the dump because it looks a bit suspicious. Give it to E-Man, and he'll give you 20, 30 quid for it.
Fucking. It's alright for scrapping. Like, I had a bunch of piping I gave him. And he managed to shift it because obviously, like, our usual guy got shot, so.
Yeah.
I got about 60 quid.
But yeah.
I mean, it was only about a key or something like that, a kilogram of copper, so about 65 quid.
It's still pretty decent, though.
But he did. I tell you what he did do. He flattened the fuck out of it. He punched it into like coins.
Oh yeah. That's how he worked. He was like, "By the power of Grayskull, I have the power," and then he'd just like flatten his scrap metal, and it turned directly into money, and he'd pocket some of it and give some of it to you.
Well, it made it easy to weigh when we went to eventually sell it, because obviously, like, nicking other people's pipes while they're in the shower, you haven't got much time to compact it down.
No, the main advantage is that they're usually too afraid to chase after you, and they've often got soap in their eyes that they haven't washed out.
Well, it's also because the cold one's all right. It's the dark one, the hot one.
Yeah. We've gone through this now. We've gone through it.
The hot one.
Light, dark, cold. Those aren't opposites.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So when you open when you rip out the hot pipe, it then starts going all up you while you're cutting it out.
It's true, like, and you just got you've been scalded by. Because, they intermix it, so the water is actually coming through the pipes about 90 degrees, coming straight from a boiler, like.
That's what I'm on about, like, and I've already cut out the stopcock, so there's no way of stopping it. I've solved that.
Hey, shall I tell my spooky Halloween story?
Ooh!
The Halloween story that really happened.
Yes.
So the other day, I was browsing a perfectly, mature and upmarket site on the internet.
Pornography.
Yes, shut up. But, I got one of them pop-ups saying, sexy girl in your area.
Ooh.
And it said 2.7 kilometers away. Well, that's close by, isn't it?
You could walk that.
And, it was just a picture. It was a picture of an arse, just pointed at the camera. She had knickers on, but, it was not. And that's how women set up dating profiles.
So lewd, not nude.
Yeah, lewd, not nude. Classy life. Because that's how women usually set up their dating profiles. They just take a picture of their arse and put it online and say, blokes will be after that. I've got an arse. Lots of women don't.
Well, this is a fucking thing. Like what a lot of women do when they go, the face is up here.
Yeah.
All women have got faces.
It's true.
All different shapes and sizes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How do you know somebody if you're looking at the fucking face?
It's just where the brain holes are.
I don't want to know about that.
Yeah.
We're men. We're closer to dogs. We need that arse.
So anyway, I closed the pop-up advert. But then, 5 minutes later, the same advert comes up. What? Same arse. But then it says, meet women in your area, 2.4 kilometers away. And I think,
fucking hell.
Maybe they've just not changed the picture.
Okay.
And I don't think anything of it. And I go to a different site to watch an artistic video about, one of those artistic videos about whipping. But anyway,
I watch those too.
Every artist does. Every creative person does.
They're very artistic.
Yes.
Good, very good colours.
Like the mise en scène is spectacular.
And the characterization is immaculate.
Mm.
You can really believe that they're doing the fictional things they're doing.
Yeah, doing the fictional things that they're doing that aren't happening in real life.
And never did. Go on.
Yeah, 5 minutes later.
So you've got a woman that's 2.4 kilometers away. That's pretty much safe at this point.
Yeah, 2.7 started out with 2.4. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Then it comes up again. Meet women in your area, and there's a name for this woman. I forgot that. It was something that's like Volda, or one of those slightly Eastern European names, Maria or Mariska or something like that.
Corsa.
Luda. Luda's my favorite, rude name for an Eastern European woman.
Larder.
But yeah. Now it says 600 meters. And I'm starting to get a bit panicky.
What?
Meet girls in your area. She's available and ready to chat. 600 meters.
She's reduced that by 2/3. What?
No. Right. So I close the laptop and just get out my phone, right? And just go back to the interesting documentary I was reading about. Interesting documentary I was watching about relationships. The relationship between a man and his stepsister.
The 10-minute relationship.
The 10-minute relationship videos that I like to watch.
There's not much advice in them, but they're very interesting.
They're just little, like a slice of life, aren't they?
Often when you walk into your kitchen, there's a woman stuck in the washing machine.
Oh yeah. Or sometimes you'll go out and you'll go to your orchard and find a bunch of apple stealing whores.
Or you're just having your dinner, and then the stepsister starts kneading you with the feet.
It's true. It can happen often.
It does happen.
Sometimes they're dressed as Alexander Ocasio-Cortez. But anyway, back to the spooky story, because, so now I'm on my phone, yeah.
Okay, 600.
Advert comes up. Volda, wants to meet you in your area. Same picture of the arse. 150 meters.
Oh my
that's
fucking
on my
god.
street.
If she was quick, she could run that in 15 seconds.
Exactly.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I'm really shitting it now. And then, finally, I'm like, I don't want to do this. Same advert comes up. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Volda, sexy girl in your area, wants to chat. 15 meters.
Oh no! No!
I froze the phone to the ground. I'm running around the house in a panic attack. But then
shit!
It's on my door.
Yeah.
And I'm terrified. I'm trying to open it. But I think, oh no, they're just pop-up adverts. They're not real women.
No, there's no women online.
Women can't use the internet. It's not allowed.
You've never been on it.
So I go to the door, and there's just this disembodied floating arse in front of me.
Oh no!
There's a hot girl in my area who wanted to meet up.
Oh my god!
And I was killed. And there were no survivors.
Oh my god, that's so scary.
Story.
I'm so spooked.
It's like The Exorcist on crack, isn't it?
Oh fucking hell, man! That could happen to anyone.
It could. So next time one of those adverts comes up about hot girls in your area,
that happens to everyone as well.
It does,
Oh god, you could make a film out of that.
I think I probably would. But it would end like one of my artistic films, with them having a frank exchange of naked views.
They're having a solid back and forth.
Yeah. a lively interplay of their ideas.
And physical manifestations of these ideas.
One of them says, "I've got a very hard point to get across,"
and the other
one says,
"I'm quite receptive to your ideas and themes. Please continue."
Yep. You hear them agreeing with each other a lot, don't they? They say, "Yes, yes, I agree. I agree with what you're saying. Yes,
yes.
Oh God, you're so right." Yeah.
I agree. More, please.
Fuck me, you're correct. Yeah.
Fucking hell, you're so right.
We've come to a consensus. I'm coming to a consensus.
Yes.
A lot. Yeah.
Jeebus.
But of course, instead of coming to a proper consensus, what he does is pulls out and has consensus all over her face. It's visually more appealing, but it's not.
Depends on who you are, really.
It's true.
It's each to their own when it comes to
establishing consensus. Yeah.
Well, conclusions and kind of the autopsy section of it.
Yeah.
A lot more people are interested in the hypothesis section. So
it's true. Yeah.
When they kind of panning out their idea and how they're going to approach it, and how they're going to execute, and what they're going to have as an outcome.
When they're just passing out their opposing views by
I mean, I like the hashing out part, the kind of where it's
when
it's starting to form, really
holding their own to their own ideas, and There's a bit of a struggle between them. It's quite passionate, the debate at this point. There's a lot of grunting.
It's the development of the final result. It's that's where it's interesting.
Because when they both achieve consensus, it's always an anticlimax, isn't it?
Well, for us, but because they've got their conclusion then, and then they're breaking down that conclusion. It's like you kind of left out of it at that point, because up until that point, you can kind of go, well, I'd make this point, or I'd make that point, or
if I was having that particular highbrow discussion, I'd be doing it in this way. Yeah, you kind of self-insert, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, you even play out these things at home on your own.
Yeah, sometimes after you've watched a video, maybe you're stuck, someplace without internet access. Your internet's gone down, so you'll have a think about a recent artistic video that you've watched about a free exchange of ideas. Just have a think about that, maybe on the bathroom at work, or something like that.
Or on the top floor at the back of a bus.
The top floor of the back of a bus, wearing your overcoat, and just explaining the import of what you've seen to some local college students.
I mean, they're into art films.
Yeah.
Especially the documentary ones.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. The true to life documentary footage of people having mature debates, I think they call them.
There's a lot of money involved in it. That's all I know.
We live in an increasingly intellectual society, don't we?
Well, now you've got these women that you have to pay to debate.
Oh yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say debate. It's more, again, free exchange of ideas.
Their ideas across, but you're quite limited in terms of the general ideas that you can get across, because you're basically, they've got the camera on them, and they're allowed to freely express their ideas about their body and things that can be put into it. Whereas you are more giving suggestions on a sidebar and occasionally donating tokens.
Yeah, well, this is why because they're doing the complex part and you're doing the simple part.
I see. Yeah.
So you're the simp, as they say.
Yeah.
So you're doing the simple parts of the complex kind of aspects of the whole subject. So she deals with the main body of it, where you'll be on the kind of the outskirts, or working on the simple stuff that builds up the final concept. Yeah. Using money.
Yeah. Money is speech. The US Supreme Court has decided that.
I was going to say, the other day I wanted to say hello, and I just gave him £1. Yeah. It worked just the same.
It's true, like.
It was more emotionally, it was less emotionally taxing, because usually when I say hello, it comes to fisticuffs, but with the £1, no problem.
I think it's the way you say hello, though, isn't it? I mean, you could do it in a less covered in goose fat and nude manner, couldn't you?
No, I'm afraid not. Oh. I was brought up that way. I can't change. Too old now. Yeah.
It's fair enough. Sorry. It's a bit of a stick in the mud, but it's an idiosyncrasy.
Well, actually, I'm not really a stick in the mud, because I'd just slip out the mud because I'm covered in grease.
That's a good point. Well, goose fat.
So I'm more of a try to stick you in the mud, but you come out because you're too greasy.
Yeah, greasier than mud is how we always used to describe you. That Dr. Populist, you should watch out for him. Greasier than mud he is.
I am greasier than mud, to be fair. It doesn't take much effort to go to places, because all I need is some initial inertia.
It's true.
And then the grease kind of lubricates the entire way. I wouldn't say it's the same as a slug, though, because the slug produces it as it's underneath, whereas I fire it in front.
Whereas you have to keep like 2 or 3 tins of Marks and Spencer's goose fat on you, and just you top up from the top, don't you? Because often you'll say to me, like when we meet up to do the editing on this podcast, because we all record in complete analog audio tapes, so we have to sit there basically huffing a lot of solvents and cutting up the tapes. Yeah, because we record 7 or 8 hours for each episode.
I mean, it doesn't help that most of the conversations don't match up because we're in separate rooms.
We can't hear each other when we record this,
and there's no script or
no.
organization or connection between any of the conversations. It's a bit like when Bowie used to write lyrics. He'd just chop everything up and put them together.
We just put a bunch of words that we've liked that week into a big hat. We kind of just pull them out as we're recording. And of course, I'm quite far away from you in a separate room. I've got no internet connection, so I just have to shout.
And that's why Adam sounds out of breath, because he's shouting.
Because I'm shouting. Not because I'm smoking constantly. Sometimes we have to put in things just for us. But anyway, what are we talking about? This whole thing's just for us.
Stetsons. I want a Stetson.
I want to talk about Saturday morning cartoons.
Ooh, I'm quite good at those.
Well, it seems like especially the less appropriate it was for children, the more likely there was to make a Saturday morning cartoon about it.
Well, this is the crux of it, really. It was the 80s and 90s.
Because there was a Rambo Saturday morning cartoon. That was real. That's a real thing that happened. Like Rambo.
Robocop.
There was a Robocop Saturday morning cartoon.
There was a Predator one.
There was.
I think no, there wasn't an Alien one. There was toys for aliens though.
There was.
Because you could get the Ripley with the pincery hand machine. Didn't really make much sense for an 18 rated film.
No, but everyone in my school wanted one.
Whilst perusing the Argus catalogue.
Yeah. It's amazing that a Greek city-state lasted for that long, that it managed to turn itself into a mail order catalogue business.
It's not a mail order. It's warehouse order. You have to turn up.
You're right.
It's not fucking Little. It's not Littlewoods.
I've embarrassed myself. I think seppuku is the only choice now.
No, Adam.
Anyway,
leave it for now. We're busy.
You're saying that once I stick the knife into my torso to make the second cut, you won't be my second and quickly chop my head off to avoid the shame of me showing any kind of emotion at committing ritual suicide?
Well, I'm not standing up, so it's not happening. End of.
You always crush me dreams, don't you?
I'm not fucking...
You're always like this.
Shh, listen. I do fucking enough. I'm not standing up to chop your fucking head off. If you're going to do it, come here. Let me do it lying down.
You want to do it lying down with a circular saw because you're lazy. You got no appreciation for the ritual of seppuku.
It's fucking pointless. It's fucking pointless. All it ends up with is a bunch of fucking mess, and I've got to put your fucking head back on.
How else am I meant to show my sincerity to falling behind the ideals of Bushido? Like, there's no other way.
I don't know what, but you're gonna have to come up with something else because my finger's fucking knacker from sewing. I'm not very good at it.
Just chop me fingers. All right then.
You can do your fingers. I've got glue.
Yeah.
I've got glue. We'll do the fingers later.
All right.
It's a treat.
Because there was the Emmanuel Saturday morning cartoon, remember, based on that 70s soft porn film.
Oh god, that was awful. There was no sex in it.
No. Emmanuel had to go around solving mysteries about people stealing things from museums. I remember in that. And it wasn't about the sexual awakening of a French woman at all.
And there was a 13-year-old boy who you had to relate to.
Yeah.
Who was also a man. He was an Emmanuel, but he was a 13-year-old boy, and he wasn't having a sexual awakening. He did homework.
There was the Red Hot Chili Peppers Saturday morning cartoon. Remember that?
No.
That was my favourite one when I was a kid. The Red Hot Chili Peppers Adventure Hour.
What the fuck would they do?
It was all like stuff like Anthony Kiedis, come quick! Like Mike Patton is giving Hillel Slovak heroin again, and they were like, "Let's get in the Red Hot Chili Peppers mobile. Use your sonic powers, Flea." Dun, 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 dun. But of course, they never actually employed Flea to play the bass in the actual cartoon.
That would have been awful.
It was always like piss poor session musician. So you didn't really get a funky bass line. It was more like a Hanna-Barbera style, like synthesized version of it. But it was enough for us as kids.
That's the thing.
I really loved the Red Hot Chili Peppers cartoon. There was Sherlock Holmes in the 22nd century, because you know how kids are mad for Sherlock Holmes.
There was he only ran for about six episodes. I don't think he got quite popular. But the Fred West Hour.
Oh yeah, well that was more of a puppet show, wasn't it? Less of a. I mean, because it was done by Jim Henson. It was Jim Henson and Fred West's Fun Hour. And
yeah,
I mean, Fred West.
I have a thing, but I like puppets.
Yeah,
I like puppets. So, I mean, to be fair, the content was very limited.
Yeah.
But the fucking production values were phenomenal.
How they got like all those puppets to be hitchhiking around it was around Bristol, wasn't it? And Fred West would come and pick them up in his car.
I think it was Norwich.
Yep. And take them back to his wacky house at Cromwell Street. And they'd have a fun time. Like he'd cover their heads in electrical tape so that their screams couldn't be heard, and eventually bury them in the basement.
Well, he did. Well, this is the thing. It was like pretty much the same. It was the same episode each week, really, except there was a lot. There was a lot more dripping and dumplings.
Yeah.
And
you'd say, "I've done the work for the week. It's time for some dumplings and dripping," and we'd all go, "Yay!" Because it was encouraged.
Yeah, but then eventually
next week for more Fred West.
They did change the name eventually. Oh God, what did they change it to? Oh, fuck! I'm gonna have to let me look.
There was that Myra Hindley series that they span off from it for a little while, but that was
no. I remember the Riddlers.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, and if you remember that, where they foregone with the murdering and turned it into riddles, and they were the last of the kind.
Yeah.
To do riddles, because it's a bit more palatable than with the last of our kind. We are paedophilic killers.
Yeah. In many ways, that destroys a lot of the. I mean, post 1990. Before 1990, all British protagonists in every film were paedophilic murderers, but like the public turned against them in about 1990, and no one really knows why.
I think they just had enough of it, really.
Yeah, it was like cowboy movies. It was just a played out trope,
It's just done to death. I mean, it's like
I like how superheroes are now.
I mean, like it was the main way they got hired back in the day. It's like, do you like kids a bit too much? Maybe. Do you want a job?
Yeah. What's a good way of keeping them quiet? Murder, I guess. Oh, you're hired.
Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, biggest hiring fucking firm at the time for that was the BBC.
Mm-hmm. It was all of them. BBC, ICI, Catholic Church.
The Tories.
Yep.
Most
Wimpy's Burger Place. That was all run on the basis of. In many ways, we can say that maybe our ancestors were wrong. Maybe they were wrong to do that.
Well, what would happen is you
shed those values.
You go into a Wimpy's and you'd see people chewing on child brains for adrenochrome.
Yeah.
Which was the number 8 on the menu at the time.
Yeah, it was $2.99, wasn't it? Which was quite a lot of money in 1990.
So it's a fucking lot of money then.
Yeah.
I mean, you get two full English breakfasts for that.
If you went down to Little Chef, where most of the kids that they murdered were 15 to 17, and they were just people who'd run away from home due to unhappy home life.
This was before it was before they opened the Pizza Express.
Yeah, I mean Pizza Express is where it's upmarket, isn't it? But the rest of us have to go to Nando's where there's no child murder at all.
To be fair, I prefer it. I don't want that while I'm eating.
It's true, like it's a distraction from a good meal.
It's
just hearing about graphic child murder.
Well, it's not just hearing it; it's also seeing it and the therapy that is involved, and the law, and the question on whether humanity should carry on.
But I think if you go out for a meal and you don't have a horrifying crisis that'll leave you with PTSD for 20 to 30 years, waking up and seeing the things that you saw in that little chef every day for the rest of your life, can you really say it's value for money?
Can you really say you've lived?
You've spent $7.99, maybe £11.50 because you bought like one of the house beers as well, and you want to see your money's worth, and that money's worth is expressed through massive mental problems from things you'll never be able to unsee.
I'm glad Little Chef doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah,
it wasn't good value for money at all.
It wasn't.
I mean, now. I mean, what do you do now?
If you want to eat on a motorway now, you have to go to some place that serves actual food, don't you?
What's a fucking... Because that's the thing. That's where you get sideshow from. Side of the road show.
Exactly.
It doesn't make... It's completely lost from the modern lexicon.
Yeah. I once was going down, I think it was a B road near Shropshire.
Mm-hmm.
And it's quite backwards around there, so they still have a lot of the old customs. So I was going down there. I saw two tractors parked up. They'd set up a makeshift kind of stage from a bunch of hay bales and silage that they had. They were doing Death of a Salesman.
Ooh,
great sideshow.
It's fucking brilliant.
And it was all
that would have been really good as well.
All in aid of I asked them, I'll because I'd stopped to watch him. I was driving my Vauxhall Astra around, of course, like I do, just looking for trouble and such. But I'd stopped and I said to him, I really enjoyed that play. It taught me a lot about the moral dissolution that U.S. capitalism causes. And they said
the modern dilemma of you as an individual within this corrupt system.
Exactly. And I said to them, well, can I slip you a tenner or something? Because I really enjoyed that. And they were like, no, we just want you to buy these apples.
Oh, and apples as well.
I bought 4 buckets of cider apples. Buckets of cider apples. They weren't much cop for eating because they were quite acidic. They were cider apples.
They'd be good for copping through people's windows, though.
Oh, they were fantastic for that. Because not only would they go right through a window, because they were quite hard, but if you got them into someone's eye, or if they had some scratches or open wounds on their face, which a lot of my enemies do, it would really hurt because they were quite acidic.
I was just having a memory, sorry.
Right. You tell the people?
Nah. It's just off topic. I once threw an orange at my brother and it hit him in the eye and burst.
Brilliant stuff. That was 50 extra points.
It was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. Ah!
I once dropped a big rock on my brother's head, but I was 5 at the time.
That just
I didn't realise
cuntish.
Exactly how psychopathic it was.
That's pretty cuntish.
I know. But I was too young to know the difference between right and wrong. I just thought it would be funny.
I did a similar thing. I broke a boy's arm with a breeze block.
Oh, yeah.
We were playing throw the breeze block, though.
Well, it's one of the... When you're born on a council estate, throw the breeze block is the closest thing to a college education you're ever going to have, really, isn't it?
Well, it wasn't my fucking fault. He was already in a cast. That's what made it worse. So I broke his arm in a different place. His dad was very upset.
The arm had already been weakened, really, hadn't it?
Well, to be fair, don't be playing throw the breeze block at while you stand at the bottom of the hill. Don't play it.
Like, there's only one winner in that game. It's the throwee rather than the thrower rather than the throwee.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty good at throwing breeze blocks. I mean, I was 10. I think I was about 9 at the time.
Remember that time we were lost in Halifax Town Centre, and you started to use your Raymere survival skills. And I was like, it was like the 4th or 5th day that we'd been lost in Halifax Town Centre. We hadn't seen a soul in weeks, because I mean we'd gone in planning we'd gone in with supplies and such like, and a flare gun and a satellite radio and stuff, but we'd lost them all going down the River Ouse on a raft when we were attacked by otters.
It capsized the boat. Luckily, we managed to get back in it, but just with the fucking skin of our teeth.
I know, and there were more otters further down, and some mallards too. We'd have been killed if we hadn't got back in the boat.
I mean, to be fair, they were worse out of the boat than when we were in the boat.
Yeah.
Like especially when we got a bit further into town and they were there. They were very difficult to avoid.
I mean, it was you who we kept our spirits up and got some tweet by winging them off breeze blocks pigeons. And that kept us in food until the helicopter could arrive.
Well, this is the thing. I've been taught from a young age how to make a pigeon pancake. You take one pigeon, one breeze block, wallop. You've got a portable snack. You've got a portable round snack. And if you really want it, you can warm it up if you want. I don't know how. Piss on it maybe.
Just rub it quite a lot.
Rub it up your legs or piss on it. Some way of warming it up.
Yeah, sit on it for a while. These are all good ways. If you ever stuck in Halifax like we were.
Make your pigeon pancake.
We were trying to find the source of the Calder Navigation Canal, but we never did. We were on commission from the Royal Society. There's many canals in Britain for whom the original source is lost. No one knows how the hydrology of the country works.
Well, no, because no one knows where canals came from. They just appeared.
We believe the Trent Mersey Canal, because no one's ever traversed the full distance of it. Like, it goes through your old manor near Stoke-on-Trent, doesn't it? But like the Trent Mersey Canal, we believe starts somewhere near Aberdeen.
Jesus.
Yeah.
That's a bit far away.
It's kind of a mountain stream that runs down from the Scottish Highlands. And it goes through all kinds of different... It could be Britain's longest river, but we don't know. One day, the canals just keep coming, and no one really knows the geological or any kind of effect that causes them.
Well, what they could have done, this is one thing I was thinking, if they hadn't fucking put the locks in, they'd probably be able to trace it. Because all you'd have to do is just bung, say, some GPS shit into the stream at the beginning,
up to carry a radio,
and then just let it just go through the whole system. But with the lock, because before when the water used to just go uphill, there was no issue. We'd probably be able to just let the radio go over. But then they've put in these fucking bars, stop the water going up.
Yep, because that's one of the first tenets of the Anglican religion, isn't it? They say water can't go uphill, and people would point out, here there's a canal going right uphill, and they'd say, no, that water's going downhill, and your eyes are wrong. But after a while, they just had to keep putting locks in so the water would stay still.
I was going to say,
would still believe in God.
Who the fucking it's not called water canal help you up, is it? No, it's called a fucking lock. And what do you do? You lock shit away.
It locks away the possibility that God might not exist from the British mind.
And that water can't go up bank, which it did.
It was also named after a famous conservative philosopher who believed that the state made up a leviathan of individuals whose rights collectively overcame the rights of the individual. John Locke.
Okay.
Oh, wait a minute. Was that John Locke? I don't fucking know. Locke's named after.
I'm just thinking Sean Locke.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Sean
Yeah,
Locke.
I was
Yeah.
wrong. You're right. It is Sean Locke. The guy from 8 out of 10 Castles Countdown. That was his political philosophy.
I met him.
Mm.
He wasn't
Was he
very.
like?
He wasn't very happy.
Does he smell of sprouts? I bet he smells of sprouts.
He smelt it heavily of leather.
Oh.
I think he'd been
Yeah,
eating it. I
that's
think
why
he
it's
was
like-
I think he'd been eating it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like
He'd just been-
treated leather, not rawhide or anything like that.
When you go into a place that sells them leather trench coats,
Yeah, wait,
does that leather smell?
leather shops. You don't have you don't see leather shops anymore.
No.
They used to be. I mean, when I was like fucking 15, 16, and we used to go to Top Q, and everything in there was leather.
Yeah.
That was normal.
I remember, like, the high street used to go William Hill, Greg's, World of Leather, Greg's, William Hill. Like, pretty much every high street in the country was like that.
I mean, I've been to World of Leather, but there was no leather coats.
No.
They said it was a World of Leather, but it was certainly a very limited world.
Well, I mean, the business idea behind just selling just leather globes, globes made out of leather. I mean, it was good for the World of Leather name, but they really should have, no one really wants a leather globe.
I mean, the stitching was pretty good.
You could use it as a kind of makeshift football.
But that was nah. Well, that was the thing. It wasn't good enough to be a globe. It wasn't good enough to be a ball.
It wouldn't hold much air inside it. It'd be quite leaky.
Most of it was solid leather. There wasn't much air.
You game a spot or internash with your mates, and after 2 or 3 kicks, it was solid leather all the way through, which is.
That's why it didn't bounce.
It amazed me because they didn't put more leather strips into it to make it solid. It was all just one thick cow skin.
Oh God, disgusting.
A cow skin, the thickness of a regulation globe, and they just carved it into a sphere. An oblate spheroid, of course. They were more accurate than that.
I can't get the sight of this leather shop out of my head. I didn't like it. The man inside was very rude.
Yeah, I found that places that sell leather and military surplus shops have the rudest shopper system.
Yeah, it was like that one we used to go to, and you go in. It was like they wanted you dead.
They did. They'd shoot at you with a crossbow, because they have them in military surplus shops.
And then, I mean, they had armed guards on the fucking front. They had fucking bloody cars with MP written on it. I mean, what's that mean? I don't know.
And to get in, you'd have to go at night because that's the only time it was open. And you would usually distract the attack dogs while I put a blanket over the razor wire so it'd crawl over it. And we get in and try and buy ourselves one of them tracked snow cats that they had there.
Well, this is the thing. All I want to do is look at some of the medals, and the pins, because we used to like those.
No, I remember you.
But they always had just fucking one. I didn't want those. It was always the Allied side. Fuck's sake.
Yeah. It's true. Like, I wanted because I was in my exploring phase and I just wanted a vehicle with good flotation on snow. And I came in. I was like, I said, I'll give you 15 grand for that specialist snow vehicle you got there, and they just shoot at me.
That's not very nice, is it? Well, I just wanted a balaclava just to ship my brother up with.
Oh, I understand.
And
because he was always afraid of Irish terrorists, wasn't he?
Well, he was blown up by the IRA.
It's true. Like he did lose his both his feet that way in that pub bombing.
He did find them though, so it wasn't all bad.
He just left them in his pockets. It was hilarious. But yeah.
How the fuck you fit them in, I don't know. I mean, you're sticking out. Anyway, so I'm there. I'm trying to get all I want is a fucking balaclava, and all I can find is box after box after box of fucking guns. And it's army surplus. They're not supposed to have any.
No, they're not meant to have things that shouldn't be decommissioned. But they didn't advertise that shop very well. I think it was a bit dodgy because we'd have to drive 4 or 5 miles out of town. And like I say, you usually would disable the MPs by sneaking up behind them and just cutting their jugular vein quickly.
It's the quickest way, really. I mean, it's less hassle.
Mainly for them. Knife. Yep.
Mainly for them. I mean, I'm all right.
Well, it was. I guess it's a mild inconvenience at the job that they'd have to get home, and your wife would be like, "You look pale, John," and he'd say, it's because someone cut me jugular vein at work today and I bled to death. And she'd be, oh, we'll make you liver then for tea. That's got iron in it.
Well, you usually perk them up.
Yeah. You remember that scene from the beach at Saving Private Ryan? It's just something that you told that story about your brother and it reminded me. Because I think there's a lot of people that appreciate how funny Saving Private Ryan is as a film. But the scene at the beginning at the beach, where that fella's like, "Where's me arm? Where's me arm?" And he's holding it in his other hand. That's where it is.
Stupid boy.
Silly man. It's a classic of comedy, isn't it?
Well, that's the thing. Like when they brought the film out, they took out the boinging and bonking cartoon noises.
They did.
So it completely lost context.
I mean, if you see the director's cuts. The slide whistle sound it makes when the ramps go down on the landing.
I mean, how can you replace that?
It just makes it a very different film.
Woo! Wow!
And they changed some of the lines too. It's like when all the Germans come out that pillbox on fire, they changed the line to "Let them burn" when it used to be "They look hot under the collar."
See, that's much funnier.
I know, isn't it?
That's much funnier. Well, there was the other line when they were supposed to be going ha 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 ha.
Yeah.
But they were going instead. Because it was supposed to be a funny joke, but then it was just one phonetic, one syllable stretched out. It was not multiple ha-has. It was just one ha.
I changed that sniper character because in the cinema release version of the film, he says prayers before he shoots people, but of course in the director's cut, how Spielberg originally envisioned the film, it's Englishman, Irishman, Scotsman jokes he does.
Oh,
yeah. And there's some classics there. Well, sometimes just dad jokes, I tried that new coconut shampoo the other day. Left my coconuts looking marvelous. Then he shoots the guy who's got the machine gun.
Wasn't that funny then? Well, no. it's like they kind of changed the end. Because originally Tom Hanks would keep winking at the screen and saying, "Looks like we're Saving Private Ryan." He'd do that about 6 times per scene.
Which, to be fair, the scene they replace it with, where Matt Damon just becomes really old in one camera shot, that's pretty funny, isn't it? Just line on the movie.
Wasn't that funny?
People expended all this effort saving you, and now you're going to just die of old, aren't you, Matt Damon? It was pointless, wasn't it?
Well, it wasn't really that he got old. It was how quickly he got old.
It's true.
He got home, he's like, "Oh, we've all died for you, mate." And then he just gets old, straight away.
He does it just to spite them, I reckon.
Fucking arsehole.
Yeah. Yeah. 6 men have died to save me. Best just get old in 1 second. And now I've got hypertension and Alzheimer's.
What an idiot.
Wasted your time.
I mean, he makes all that winking in camera from Tom Hanks completely redundant.
It does.
Because what have they saved? What have they saved? You get back, he's an old man within a second, I mean, if I was Tom Hanks, I'd be revolving gyroscopically in my grave, not just on the y-axis, but on all axes.
Like on all axes, you would be basically like a neutron star, just emitting radiation and revolving at a rate of fantastic speeds in your grave.
Well, it'd be too large,
achieving infinite denseness almost.
Two large beams coming either side, top
sterilizing everything in their path.
Sterilized.
Of course, the Northern Rock Building Society had a tie-in with the Saving Private Ryan movie, didn't it? Remember Private Ryan's Savings?
No. To be fair, I wasn't too bothered with the kind of the novelty banking
aspect of the movie. Yeah.
Products.
Remember they do you a D-Day mortgage. In many ways, this is why the financial crash ruined them and they're shut down.
Well, I remember at the time, years ago, I don't know if you got them now, but they used to sell Pokemon subprimes.
Oh, yeah.
And you would collect 150 subprime mortgages.
Mm-hmm. From a minority family that's, script and saved to buy a house but could never get approval before.
I mean, to be fair, it was pretty difficult because every single one of the subprimes was an immigrant Japanese.
Oh, yeah.
Which meant that they really didn't have the backing financially.
No. Many of them were completely jobless. They really shouldn't have given these people mortgages.
But then you fucking do because you'd need it for your collection.
Oh, well, you'd have to have every type of person who needed a subprime mortgage. People in precarious employment, people who'd come into a bit of money but had bad credit ratings.
And then
families, and then minorities.
When you met up with your banking mates, you could make them fight.
Yeah. You'd swap rare ones for shinies and various like that, and then you pit them against each other to see who got the house foreclosed.
God,
that's how houses work. They're a lot like a Pokeball.
Yeah, you throw the house at the person, and then they stay inside it for I wouldn't say the rest of their life, but they're in it.
Yeah. Well, it depends how hard you throw the house. I once threw a house, and the person who was in it did actually stay inside for the rest of their life.
If anyone's ever seen The Wicked Witch of the West, similar sort of thing. It's a very early version of Pokemon when throwing a house involved a tornado.
It's true.
And a bicycle.
It's before modern materials made houses so easy to throw.
Because, if you watch that film, they're just there, and then the whole thing just goes, and then they've caught the Wicked Witch of the West. And that's why they're off catch the next one. Because you think about it, Pokemon, they start off in a house and they end up at the end. And that's pretty much what happens in Wizard of Oz. They start off in a house and then they go somewhere.
Saving Private Ryan, the start of the film, they're in that floating house at the beginning.
Yeah.
And they get out and the weather's bad. And a lot of people fall down because it's windy, I assume. Because I've never watched
it was the Zoom Bound Bonk section.
Yeah. And then they go somewhere. Vladimir Prop that we studied at university, he said that all basic films were an innocent in an ordinary world. Starts out in a house, and then he goes somewhere. He collected thousands of folklore stories from around the world, and that was the conclusion he came to. It's the story, the basic template of all culture.
Well, this is why we have to make these shows to tell these people they don't know this.
And the people need, because you look at a lot of the modern things, Star Trek Discovery, almost no one's in a house in that. They are going somewhere quite a lot.
Well,
but it's start out in a house. It breaks the rules.
I think it's one of those postmodern things where you're supposed to assume that they've come from a house.
You have to assume that they have a house somewhere.
Well, they do, because they do refer to the houses while on the ship, I live in Seattle or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, I live in Paris. You must assume that they're in a house because it's Star Trek, so they're not going to live on the street.
No.
Because most people live in spaceships, so...
It's really hard for me with my suspension of disbelief, though.
Well,
You know? Well, there's loads of houses in Seattle or Paris, and if I don't know which one they live in, then I just don't find the character believable. That's why I find out exactly where anyone who appears in the movie lives, both their fictional characters they're playing.
right. Right, looks like I've got someone fucking phone later on then.
Yeah.
Anyway, we have come to the end.
A decisive end point of our negotiation. This negotiation's over. I'm putting down the phone and I'm executing a fucking hostage. I'm sorry, you've not fulfilled my demands, audience. The hostages, they're done for.
They're pretty fucked. I mean, we should have told you we had them in the first place, really. But
it's a real basic of trying to extort money, isn't it? Tell them you have hostages before you start the call. Ugh.
And now we're at the end of the call. Oh,
I watched The Negotiator with Samuel L. Jackson, but I just didn't write this down.
You got to start with the negotiation, not end with it.
I'll guess we'll have to come back to this next week.
To be fair, I was there as well. It's both of us.
No,
we both forgot. We both forgot.
It's half a dozen of one and 6 of the other, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay then. Right, everybody. So next week, get ready because we'll give you the terms for the release of these people. Yep. But until then, shut your fucking mouth and don't tell the cops.
Yeah. Fuck off, everybody.
Bye.
That was all right.